Hi everyone, welcome to Cheryl's Stitch and Stash. Today I'm going to show you how to make a yo-yo and what you can use them for. But first, let me show you some things that I have done. I'm still working on the Noah's Ark quilt and I got the goat done. I think he came out cute. I just have to do him in reverse now. And I did do the hippo. And I have done several angels. They're not finished yet. I have to do the wings, but these are the pieces I finished so far. It's all done in red work. So what I have to do to finish these pieces is I have to make the wings and cut these out. And when I am done, I will show you. It's going to take a while though. Okay, and I did get a few things in. I found this company called Liberty Homestead. It's called Farmhouse Quilts. And I thought this was a really neat pattern. What it is it's like scraps of fabric going in different directions, and in the middle of the triangles or squares is hand embroidered flowers, and I absolutely love them. You can't see them in the pattern, but I can't wait to do this one because it has hand embroidery and quilting all together in one. And I also found this other company called Sewing Bird. It has embroidery and quilt kits. And the one I picked was the ones, what they did is they pre-printed the pattern onto the fabric. And then what you do is you hand embroider the fabric and then you make them into a quilt. And I got the one with bugs, so I can't wait to do this one. And then I did get a new design from Bird Braid Designs. It's called Live, Laugh, and Love. And that is my hand embroidery I'm going to do. Okay, I did get my spring edition of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher yesterday in the mail. I have not looked at it. I'm right now airing it out because it does have some sort of an ink smell on it. This is one of the magazines that do have an ink smell, but it does go away once I leave it out on the porch for a few days. So I can't wait to look at that. The other thing I wanted to show you before we get started in making a yo-yo is a quilt that I have made in yo-yos. Okay, this is a quilt I made a few years ago. It's all yo-yos and it's all done by hand. I hand tied the quilt. It's a little wrinkled because I don't have the correct space to hang it up properly. But this is all done by hand. And as you can see, I call this a flat tire. Lucy got on top of the blanket and she tried to dig into it and broke a yo-yo. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to show you how to make a yo-yo to replace it. But other than that, this is my yo-yo quilt. It's all done in Americana and Civil War fabric. And even my binding is all from the leftover fabrics going all the way around. And all I did was take blocks and put the yo-yos in the middle of them and sewed them all together. And I actually hand tied this quilt. It came out great. It just looks wrinkled right now because it was on my bed and I took it off my bed, and I don't have a proper place to hang it straight. And it's too cold to hang it out on the clothesline today. So let's get started on how to make a yo-yo. Okay, the easiest way I found to make a yo-yo is Clover had come out with yo-yo makers in all kinds of shapes and sizes. And this is the size I'm using. It's a 45 millimeter size. So what you want to do is you want to take a piece of fabric, and I square mine. Okay, it's just easier. And you put your finger through this hole here, and you pop the lid, and you place your fabric in it. And then what you do is these lines right here, you line them up with the spacers or the bubbles or whatever you want to call them with the line. So I'm going to put mine like that, and these should be all lined up now. See, this line goes with this bubble. This line goes with this bubble. All right, so it's all lined. So the next thing I do is I take my scissors and I trim around the edge of my circle, my yo-yo maker. It leaves about 1/4 of an inch of an edge. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then what you do is you start, you see these things right here? You start there. So I threaded my needle. I'm going to use floss today and see how it works. So I'm going to leave a tail. So what you do is you just go up, and we're going to leave a tail here. And then you go back. Wait a minute here. All right, my fingers aren't working too good today. Just like that. And you want to hold this down while you're doing it. So you go like that. I gotta leave that tail, so don't pull it too far. And then you go to the next spot. I don't know if you can see that. All right, and then you go all the way around. So when I get done going all the way around with this, I will show you what it looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I went all the way around, and as you can see, I have all my stitches done, and I went back to the beginning and did that stitch. So the next thing we're going to do is there's a hole in the back of this. You just pop it out like that, and you take this out carefully like this. Just like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull from each side, as you can see here, right? Because you got your two tails, right? You're going to pull a little bit on each side, and you're going to work it into the yo-yo. Just like this. As you can see, I'm going along, and I'm, you got to work it a little bit. And you do one side and then the other side, and you go back and forth until you get the shape of your yo-yo. Like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some different things that I've learned. I have made a bunch of them with weights. And these are for when I sew clothes and I'm using patterns. These are fabric weights, right? So what I did is I purchased a box of flat washers, and these are the 1/2 inch size. And what I did is I took a few of them, and before I got my shape of the yo-yo, I would place them inside like this and work my way around the yo-yo to finish them. And that's how they came out like this. So I use these for sewing clothes, right? The other idea I have is you can literally make them a needle minder. You get a magnet and you put them inside the yo-yo before you finish that shape. You put them inside. And then you form your shape that way, going all the way around. You know, you got to work it back and forth. But today, I think what I'll do is I'll leave the magnet in because I need another needle minder. So I'm going to work it until I have it all done the way I want it. You might have to double the magnet. I'm thinking this is, let's see, will it work? Oh, it does work. There you go. All right, so I'm going to work this back and forth until I get the shape that I want. You want it as round as possible and flat. Oh, there you go. I got the shape I wanted. And now what I do is I tie my 2 tails together and I make this knot, and I do it twice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread my needle and I'm going to tuck them down in the middle of the yo-yo so you can't see it. So what I'll do is I'll cut this tip off and wet that a little bit. I'm going to thread my needle. And of course, it's not going to work when I'm trying to do it. There you go. I got it. I'm using floss today. You can use thread. The thicker the thread, the better off you'll be so they don't break. Let's try this again. I'm using a really small needle. I love to sew with the size 10 needles, betweens. It's because I learned on them, I think. I can't seem to get a bigger needle to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck it down here inside. And I'm just going to come through to the other side. Just come through anywhere. The thread is not going to show once you cut it. This way it's in there. You can't see it. Let me do this end too. And there is my needle minder. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this one off. There you go. And there's my needle minder. You can put it on this side or you can put it on this side. And there's your yo-yo. It's as easy as that. Well, thank you for coming and visiting my channel today. And I hope to see you soon. You have a great day. Happy quilting. Happy stitching.